Alright, we lost the roll and we'll have to mulligan. Our opponent's around 6 already. This hand is excellent. It took over 6 minutes to find a game in the competitive queue, so... no, I don't think so. A little overkill. Oh, well, if we knew what we were playing against, I probably would have kept it, but... Steam End's tapped is generally an indicator that Ancestral is going to be good. What was I saying? Oh, it took a while to find a match, so I'm hoping that it doesn't get too late. It's already pretty late. I'm hoping I can finish this video set before I'm off to Costa Rica for the standard Grand Prix. Should be a good time. I'm blown up. My instinct is that I'll be playing more of the normal leagues rather than the competitive leagues, with the Modern Maniacs series being about more casual, off-the-wall, weird decks. But, I mean, this is a tier 1, tier 1.5 deck that I have some experience with, so I felt like it would be better this time to play the competitive queue, but might get punished for that decision, as it looks like it might be a bit difficult to find games, which is quite unfortunate. Go ahead and leave up Remand. You can pop this Ancestral Visions out as well. Tick-tock. Ooh, Grixis. That's a bad matchup. I'm happy to play the Mirror all day long, but Grixis has a couple of tools that I'd prefer to not have to play against. Go ahead and play the Mesa, but I'm not going to crack it if I don't have to. Whoa. I don't think I'm familiar with this deck. Unless this is like all of their non-green lands and it's just a Bring to Light build. But basic Swamp is pretty out there. This is gonna be a bit interesting. Worldly Council. So it is a Scape Shift deck without green so far. That is a very odd opening. Very, very odd. Main phase Worldly Council. Sure. Looks like they're trying to make a land drop. There's the green. Probably gonna remand whatever this is. Oh, Search for Tomorrow. Can't remand that. Suppose I want to throw this Electrolyze at them. What a weird opening from Scape Shift. Attack Edge is pretty good. Especially because I can cut off the green. That's actually great. See? Look at how much better this is than Ghost Quarter. Unfortunately, going to have to remand a remand, which is never something you want to do, but... I think best is just Serum Visions and Tech Edge. Don't want either of these. Excuse me. Go ahead and blast the green. And then I can remand the Search for Tomorrow next turn. You. Hitting these land drops is actually going to be pretty important, and if I need to discard one later on, I can just discard it to the Nahiri. So they made their land drop with another non-green land. Interesting. I want this second blue so that if they try and remand my remand, I can cast it again. I imagine this is just going to get cryptic or something. Remand your own search for tomorrow. That's what I was going to do. All that did was use a remand to draw a card instead of me. Oh, to get deeper to a green, I guess. I suppose that makes sense this time in this specific situation. Now all the green spells come rolling out. That's where we need to find that logic knot. 18 and 17 are the same, so I might as well fetch. Ooh, Serum Visions is like the most awkward draw. Because I wanted to just Nahiri plus. But I can't do that and Visions and hold up a 2-mana counter. But Visions can find Snapcaster for remand, whereas Nahiri, drawing a Snapcaster would not do anything. So I think I lead with the Serum Visions. Spell Snare. Do not want Emrakul. I suppose I will take a Snapcaster Mage. Very likely just dead here, but small chance that they kept a hand with no green and no scape shift and didn't draw any scape shifts in those turns where they weren't drawing green mana. Saying it out loud makes it sound silly. Bring to the light. I assume? Yeah, there it is. Nothing I can do. Always make them show you the mountains. I'm not going to make them point them at my face, but I am going to make sure that I'm dead. Sacrificed 7 lands, looks like. Probably dead. They only had like 1 mountain in play, if that. Yeah, just the one. What's the word? That is enough. Alright, so this is a pretty poor matchup, but these sure help a lot. So let's go ahead and get that game plan a-going. I have a lot of bad cards, which makes sideboarding a lot easier. The Electrolyze is like the burn spell that you can keep in because it at least cycles. But it's definitely not super great. I always kind of want to bring in a Wear Tear. Maybe this isn't the matchup for it. I like the snares, I like all the counters. Dispel doesn't get like the scape shift itself, but it hits the counter magic to protect it. Alright, put a couple bolts in there. Could try and juke them. Doesn't seem too effective. I always think of ways to make a scape shift resolve but you still win, like Angel's Grace or something absurd like that. because the mountain counts in these decks don't let them win twice. The problem is, then they have all those things in play and just kill you anyway. This hand is not great. It's the old lands and spells. Emrakul's obviously terrible. I think if I was against a deck that couldn't get in the way of Nahiri, I would keep the fact that this could just get remanded and lock the Emrakul out even longer, or Cryptic after that. And the Bolt is really bad. I am going to mulligan the lands and spells. This isn't much better, but we gave ourselves a chance to draw a Geist hand, which is actually what we were looking for. 2 pair. 3 pair. Daily Alama. Keep. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep it. Need to hit a land drop after that, but I don't think I have the resources to play a normal game. Like, if I had a normal hand with an Ancestral, where the Geist would kind of get in the way, I could see shipping it. But I kind of want to draw it because I think that it is one of the more likely ways that we escape with a victory. They have green mana this time, which is fortunate for them. Don't think we fetch. Okay. The damage from having to get duels untapped is not super relevant because 18 is the only life total that really matters. So I don't want to thin my deck because obviously I want to draw land to deploy Monsieur Traft. The late, great priest? I think he was a priest that turned vigilante and then died. Got killed by demons. As is all too common in ye old Innistrad. Island steam vents. Ooh, should I get Sacred Foundry to activate? No, I need the extra blue. I should have just gotten Hollowed Fountain. Again, the life total doesn't matter that much. Yeah, Time Walk me. Maybe I'll hit my next land drop so I don't get got either by Cryptic or another remand. Ideally, they'll have like dispels and negates instead of leaks and the like. That's part of the plan of the Geist of Saint Traft against counter magic decks, is that a lot of their counter magic doesn't actually take care of Geist. They have a bunch of removal, none of which takes care of Geist either. Once they see Geist, they'll board in Clasms for game 2, or game 3. It's very unlikely they have them for the first post-board game. It's part of the reason why it's so important to get that first one, even though it is a difficult matchup. Crumble? Wow. Well, let's draw an untapped land, shall we? Crumble is a pretty good card. If for no other reason that it's so unexpected. I mean, not that I can do anything about it anyway, but I've been crumbled in spots where I felt like I was even or ahead, and then Crumbles just lights out, especially when I have Dispels and Spell Snares. It is a real thing. The fact that these decks can go so high and actually Ambush Viper and actually Snapcaster it or whatever is also extra scary. That is not the ideal draw. is going to be a sick comeback. Or we're just going to get smashed in a terrible matchup. Remember how I added a land? Hitting your land drops with this deck is not the easiest and is like just crazy super important. And flooding out isn't really a thing because you have Nahiri to loot, plus like Snapcaster and stuff to actually use all your mana. Serum Visions to help you find gas, Ancestral to help you find gas, Celestial Colonnades to sink your mana into. Deck doesn't really flood, but it definitely loses if it misses. Or it doesn't lose when it floods, but it definitely loses when it misses land drops. Which is why I like just adding more and more lands. Should probably counter this if they can. And free up their own mana on future turns. Yeah, that'll do it. Izzet Charm is a card that I would like to try in this deck. The problem is the slots are so strict, but it is another way to convert all that extra like dead cards late, like the extra lands and whatnot. Oh, I'm just dead. It's like confused why the insta-sack, but I assume it's because we've been defeated. Farewell to the viewers that only watch one video. You need double green? Oh no, okay. But for the rest of you, let us battle on. As soon as he shows us the mountains. See, this is the exact, this is 7? No, it's 8, so it's dead either way. 7 is the land count where 18 actually matters. GG.